Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are here with episode 28.
28.
And not only is it a new episode, but we got something in store for you. We got a brand new format. That's right. You may have been watching us, over the last year and noticed, we do a lot of just reviews or just news. Guess what? We're switching it up. We are going to be, not anymore. We're going to be, we'll still talk about news a little bit. We'll still do the occasional review here and there.
Absolutely.
But now we're going to be focusing on specific topics. And I think this will make the show a lot better, a lot more conversational. Hopefully you guys will be able to really get involved a bit more as well. So I'm pretty excited.
But
like I said,
the original version either, where we were history lessoning the hell out of you guys.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We don't want to just drag you through, textbooks and stuff with note cards and shit. If you guys ever watch those videos, whoo-wee. Hey, you know what? It was like a decade ago. It happens. But like we said, things aren't completely changing. We will still be talking about the news, and we are going to start off with that news. And the segment that we like to call Breaking KAYFABE. Breaking KAYFABE. That's right. All right, John. I don't want to say I'm excited to talk about the news because the first story is a real downer, unfortunately.
Absolutely.
But so I figured we start off with it and just kind of make our way through because there's no easy way to transition out of something like this.
No, there's definitely no easy way.
And that is New Jack. Legendary wrestler New Jack has passed away at the age of 58.
Yeah,
John,
really sad news.
Let me hear your thoughts on this sad news.
Well, sadly, I wasn't a New Jack fan, and I don't want people to get like the misrepresentation that I'm like tore up about this, because honestly, I heard about it and my first reaction was, "Oh, New Jack, okay." I'm not as tore up about it as some of the other wrestlers. I understand why some people are. No matter what, it's tragic to lose anybody in the business, and New Jack is no different. But I really don't know his career, and that really saddened me when I actually thought about that. I really only know one famous thing about New Jack, and sadly, that's because of Weezer.
No, dude, I know exactly how you feel. I don't know a lot about New Jack. I've seen a couple of his matches. Heck, we did a retro review of one of his matches recently, and for our Patreon, and I hadn't seen a lot of his stuff, but what I have seen, I enjoyed of his. And his name is firmly implanted in my brain because of that Weezer song. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I totally get what you're saying, but yeah, it's tragic to lose anybody. He was only 58. That's terrible.
58's young.
That's terrible. Me and you are closer to 58 than not. You know what I mean? So that's I don't like the thought of that.
Why would you even say that?
We're almost 2/3 of the way there, bro. Unfortunately, unfortunately, that's the case. But yeah, it's a bummer.
It is.
I'd love to hear
wrestling for sure.
It is. I'd love to hear everybody else's thoughts on this. So be sure to comment after all these segments.
Absolutely.
We want to hear everything that you guys have to say. What were some of your favorite New Jack matches? Let us know.
Say, what were some of your
give
New
us
Jack
some
moments
things. Give us some things to watch so that we can enlighten ourselves to the glory of New Jack.
If you were going to recommend a New Jack match to somebody who had never watched anything before, what match would you have them start with?
That's true. Speaking of New Jack matches, like I said, we did do a retro match review on our Patreon. It was New Jack versus Mike Awesome for the ECW World Heavyweight Championship, ECW Hardcore 1999. John and I spoke about it. We are going to release it onto our actual YouTube channel so that people can watch it and kind of just bask in some New Jack and join us as we talk about this match. So look out for that. It'll be I'll make it public shortly. All right. So our next story deals with a little bit of AEW.
AEW.
Is there trouble brewing in AEW, John? Is right. It seems that behind the scenes, the EVPs are fighting and may no longer even be talking to one another. It seems that the report is that some members of the Elite have stopped talking to one another. That the Young Bucks and Cody and Kenny Omega aren't on the same page. So, John, I want to get your thoughts on if this is the case. How long do you think AEW is going to be able to keep it under wraps? How long until it truly starts to affect the product? And do you think it has already affected the product? I'm interested in your thoughts.
Well, there's not really any way to tell if this is a real story or a work. And that's the scary part. Because the Elite are a really close group of people for a reason. You travel the road with people for so long, you get a bond, a brotherhood that builds up between you. That's what the Elite have. And I mean, they're synonymous with professional wrestling at this point, which we'll get into in a little bit with some of the topics we want to talk about today. But if there's really trouble brewing amongst them with this cross-company promotion we've got thing going on right now, this could spell disaster for at least one company. And sadly, I don't think it would be AEW that it would affect. It could honestly affect Impact a lot worse, considering they're riding coattails right now.
Yeah.
I guess it'll be a matter of time until we can find out. I really hope that all these guys can put their differences aside and at least remain friends. Even if they can't creatively come together and move the product in the same direction, I hope that they can at least remain friends. But I was told one time that you never start a business with your best friend because shit like this happens.
Fair enough. Hopefully nothing ever happens off the ropes.
I mean, we had our differences at one point, and that's kind of why we stopped recording the first time. And we came back, and when we started straining out, we sat down, we talked about it. I told you I was getting burnt out with the product. We're trying something new, and I like this. I like this more organic feel, more me and you are going to talk about it and not just like, oh, we watched this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. Because, even like it got to a point where we were rarely doing the news anymore. We were getting so burnt out because like they were doing so many pay-per-views and like I was not enjoying watching the pay-per-views anymore.
No, and
that was a big problem.
I might watch the pay-per-view tomorrow and I might not. But if I do, at least I don't have to sit here taking notes the whole time being like, oh man. Yeah. I might jot down a couple of things that like, oh man, okay, well I want to talk about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll definitely like note a couple, something cool happened or, this, that, the other, whatever. And I can always look up the results to know, you know what I mean? So I can refresh my memory on who won, So that's I look forward to just being able to sit down and actually enjoy the pay-per-views again. But back to this AEW stuff. Ever since they launched, they have been like this force to reckon with. Everybody's like, oh yeah, they're the top. But you're right. If the guys running it aren't on the same page, it's not going to work.
No.
It's just not. And there's nothing that can be done about it if that's the case. They have to figure out what they're doing. They have to figure out how to move past whatever this is. And
absolutely,
that's really all there is.
You know who else it really sucks for, though? That if this is what's really happening, who else it really sucks for is Tony Khan. Since Tony Khan's like funding everything. Because like, you can have the deepest pockets in the world, but if your people aren't on the same page and shit, I mean, where's your money going to be going? You don't know.
That's true. All right. So this brings us to our next topic, which also includes AEW. It involves AEW. This one, not great. Chris Jericho injured. So Chris Jericho reportedly out of action for several months after sustaining a legitimate injury to his elbow. It said that he fractured his elbow during that cage bump at Blood and Guts. John, I want to get your thoughts. First, did you see this cage bump? I kind of want to get your thoughts on that. And then your thoughts on him being out for several months.
My first thought is that they put the bump in an interesting spot because the bump happened after the match was over. And I thought that was an interesting start.
Yeah.
2, for all the people who are like, oh my God, he should have hit the concrete. You're the same people who were complaining when Matt Hardy got concussed back a few months ago during the Stampede match, that whole thing. So you people need to make up your mind. Either you want these people to work and work safe, or you want them to fucking risk killing themselves for you. So, one way or the other. Chris Jericho is,
I'll be honest, it didn't look great. I understand the purpose behind what they did. Keeping their wrestlers safe is key. But it didn't look good. There had to have been a better way. Something else. I don't know.
Let me propose something to you. And this is what I'm going to love about this new feel, what we're doing. That spot was not about throwing Chris Jericho off the top of the cage. That spot was about elevating MJF to a new level of heel. I said,
I totally get it.
That spot happened after the match ended. He never had to throw Jericho off. So the fact that Jericho landed in a safe manner is fine. He threw Jericho off with a purpose, though. Yeah. And that is going to fucking cement him down as that guy who hurt Chris Jericho now.
Yeah, I get that. But to me, it's just like the exploding the exploding barbed wire mishap.
Yeah.
Where it just it's not that it makes Jericho look bad, because it doesn't. It makes AEW look bad.
That's true.
Because
I understand
it just looked completely fake.
It did.
Because it's supposed to look like the metal grating to the ramp or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was I'm not even sure what it was. It was spray painted cardboard or something. I don't know. Yeah. And so
Chris Jericho himself getting hurt though, that sucks. He's one of the top players of the company right now, and even if he's not in the title picture, he's there. Yeah. And that sucks. I really hope that he gets better.
He's probably one of, if not the biggest draw for AEW right now. Really, if you think about it, people who maybe aren't always into wrestling, they don't stay with it all the time, but they've been watching it for years, but it's kind of on and off. Guarantee you they know who Chris Jericho is. And that's probably why they came to AEW.
Yeah.
If they did, and those who haven't yet, it would probably be somebody like a Chris Jericho who would bring them in. Obviously there's others that might, but the fact that he'll be out for several months, I think that might be a big hit, in my opinion.
Jericho won't be throwing.
It's true. All right. So we talked about some AEW. Now it's time to talk about some WWE. We got 2 stories left, both in the world of WWE. First up, John Cena. John's favorite wrestler.
The name that we do not speak in my house.
He wants to return to the ring. In a recent interview, he expressed his interest in at some point coming back to the ring. He has not been in WWE since Mania 36.
Yep, when
that match. Yeah, the match with Bray. So, John, let's hear your thoughts on the possibility of John Cena coming back. All right. So my thoughts on the possibility of John Cena, I like it. I'll be honest with you. As long as I have a caveat, as long as he's not in the title picture, I have zero problem with Cena coming back, elevating some of these younger guys. Having one last run, maybe showing what he's got. I dig it.
I can respect that.
Yeah,
I don't want to see him come back. I don't need to see John Cena anymore. I got my time from 2002 to 2019, 2020.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he did spend almost 2 decades in the E, so
Yeah.
But I understand why he would, kind of probably be itching for one more run. I get it.
I mean, I get it. Here's the thing, though.
He's like 43, 44, somewhere around there. So, like, he's up there.
Still in decent condition.
Dude, he is. He stays in good shape because he's, a Hollywood star now. But I don't think that he would be long for it. I think it would be just this one run, maybe a couple of years, and then he'd be out. There you are,
Yeah, you know what the thing is, and this is the thing. John Cena is one of those wrestlers that even though I don't like the character, I respect the wrestler. John Cena is one of the few wrestlers who I can honestly say, minus the couple of big ones he suffered when he was like in the early parts of his career, he never really got hurt. He never really took a lot of time off. He was there. He was the
workhorse, man. He was a
workhorse. Now, if he comes back, I want to see him fight one individual and one individual specifically, just because I think it would be amazing.
Okay.
And that is somebody he has only fought twice in his career.
All right.
The Rock.
Oh, okay. So you'd want The Rock to come back too.
Match. I want the rubber match. The Rock won one, Cena won one.
I would be down, I would 100% be down for that. Now, maybe like Cena comes back. He's, doing Hollywood. Maybe he calls out The Rock because he's like, you know what? I'm back. I'm doing movies and I'm back wrestling. Come on, Rock. See what you still got. See if you still got it.
I'm going to take that and I'm going to elevate it just a little bit more. You ready for this?
All right.
Cena comes back. I did what The Rock did, but I did it better. I've made more money. The Rock comes out. You might have done it, but you lost your physique. Look at me.
All
I mean, The Rock.
I don't think if Cena said that statement, it definitely wouldn't be true. But
you don't think he's made as much money as The Rock in Hollywood?
No. The Rock doing like Fast and Furious movies and all this other nah.
True.
No way. Not yet.
Yeah, but now Cena's doing the fast. They could literally call their third run the Fast and the Furious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Cena could be like, I'm in the new Fast and Furious movie, and I did it better than The Rock.
Yeah. Rock comes out, he's like, "What did you just say?" Cena's like, "It doesn't matter what you said."
Dude, it would be pretty epic. I have to admit, I'd love it.
Man.
I'd love it. All right.
Like you said. I do not want to see him. I'm gonna use this to segue into the last story. You ready for this? I do not want to see John Cena win a title. Unlike what we're going to talk about next, Tamina and Natalya winning the women's tag team titles last night on SmackDown.
That's right, man. Whew. When I saw it up on Twitter, I was like, "Oh shit, we got to talk about this." Yeah,
hell yeah, we got to talk about this. This is a big moment for both of those women. Mostly to me, but both of them.
Absolutely for both of them. Now, as you know, and anyone out there who has watched this show recently, I came around to Shayna Baszler as a wrestler. And I was totally fine with her and Nia Jax having the belts. Though I don't really like Nia Jax. I'm also not heartbroken in the slightest that they lost the titles. I'm really not, because it's not like they've never lost them before.
That's
and
true.
at least this time, it's to a team I can get behind.
Yeah, but I mean, it's a mirror image team, and that's what I like.
Yeah, and honestly, probably
Tamina's
a better,
bigger,
team.
bulkier woman, and Natalya is the fucking smaller fighter, and that's what I like. I like that both teams are equally comparable.
The only thing is, this is the better team.
And I completely agree with that. Because Josh loves Nia Jax.
No. Tamina has really stepped up her game since she came back.
She has. She really has.
She looks fantastic. She's showing, like, she's been showcasing just how skillful in the ring she is.
Yeah.
Unlike a certain Nia Jax. But yeah, so that's why a big reason. Oh my god, that I kind of wish I had like a little video clip that I could just play of that. That'd be hilarious. But yeah, I'm really happy for this. I hope WWE doesn't screw it up. That might be a topic for another show. You know, is WWE screwing up the women's tag team division? Who knows? We'll see.
Maybe.
You never know.
Totally talk about that.
We could. All right, so that takes us out of breaking kayfabe and into the main show.
It's the main show.
I need to make a graphic for that. That'd be great. It's the main show.
Like maybe you can find like a transitional piece that like just kind of like waves across the screen.
We'll work on that for future episodes, folks. Oh man. All right, John.
Let's do the Scooby-Doo. Woo!
You sent me a bunch of topics that you thought would be good for this first new episode that we're doing, and
absolutely,
we're gonna start off with Young Bucks, big dick attitude.
Absolutely.
Take it away.
All right. So part of the new format is I want us to sit here and just kind of like talk about something. So I gave Josh this idea, and I'm going to bring it up to you people because I want you people to start like leaving us comments, leaving us voice messages. So this is an opinion-based thing. So my opinion of the Young Bucks, which I preface with my opinion, is that they are those guys in the business who have never done anything but make fun of the business in its entirety. And recently, on AEW, Matt Jackson mocked Shawn Michaels super kicking Ric Flair at WrestleMania 24 by literally backing into the corner. He's like, and I mean, he screams it. He's like, "I'm sorry, I love you," and then he super kicks. I'm pretty sure it was one of the.
Wasn't it Christopher Daniels?
Was it Dan? Yes, it was Daniels.
I think. Right. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was right. Christopher Daniels.
And then I'm like, wow, okay. And all these fans they're pissed. They're like, oh, he's mocking the business. The Young Bucks have always mocked the business. And that's not the part of them that bugs me. Okay, like I can understand that they're gonna do the flippity doos and they're not gonna sell, and it's 70 super kicks in a match because that's just who the Young Bucks are. And we've known this. We have seen them go from being like Generation Me to the so-and-so peoples, and now they're the Young Bucks. They're part of the elite. They are the Young Bucks, like the Young Bucks. Yeah. And people are like fucking shitting rainbows for these guys. I don't see it.
I get that. I've never like I like them. Like they're talented. You know, the stuff that I've watched. I just never really got super into them. You know, that was a thing. I've known that they've been around for a bit, but they never really drew my attention until AEW. You know what I mean? That's fair.
Now,
and so, go ahead.
No. You go ahead because you're still going with yours.
No. And so, like, the fact that, like, I understand that people expect a lot from these guys. Because they've been watching them for years. They were following them on the indie scene. You know, they know what these guys are made of. But if you know what they're made of, then why does this surprise you?
Exactly.
You know? I don't understand the reaction that's happening.
No. And I mean, I will say this. I think the Young Bucks, in all due respect, have given a new elevation to tag team wrestling. They are... Like, you have tag teams that are forever going to go down in history as, like, benchmarkers. Legion of Doom, the Dudley Boys, the Steiner Brothers, the Brothers of Destruction. I mean, there's always going to be those tag teams. And then you get, like, the Young Bucks. And they're a tag team that if you would have went back, like, 10 to 15 years, like, maybe even Attitude Era-ish, the Young Bucks would have never survived the tag team run. They're guys that never should have been, in my personal opinion. But that is, again, my opinion. Now, I think that being said, Does that make the Young Bucks comparable to the 90s Hardy Boys when they first made their break in the business? Because the Hardy Boys were a tag team that never should have been, but somebody took a chance on them.
I mean, I definitely see that. And it's obvious that they modeled themselves that way.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very obvious that they did that. Now, the real question is, will they have that kind of longevity? You know what I mean?
That's a really good question. Because, I mean, both the Hardys are still wrestling. And, I mean, they debuted in, the mid-90s, man.
The thing is, the Hardys debuted at just the right time. You know what I mean?
Now,
their
are
style,
you talking about as the Hardys or, as each of them are doing their solo thing in the WWF?
No, they came in as the Hardys at the perfect time.
Yes.
The Hardy Boys came into the scene at the perfect time.
They did.
I don't know if this is the perfect time for the Young Bucks. I don't know if that time has passed. It's possible, because it just doesn't feel like to me that they've been able to break out of that kind of indie shine that they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, and I know exactly what you're talking about when you say that too. Because when I watch them, sometimes I'm like, some of the shit they do feels like it's like they're trying to get indie wrestling pops.
Yeah,
like the 17 wrestling, the 17 super kicks back to back. It's like that's the shit you see at an indie show.
Yep, it is, and that's what I worry about with AEW is that they're going to turn into just a televised indie show.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I mean, I like Ring of Honor. You know, they do some good stuff, but that's what they are, really.
Yeah,
they're a televised indie show. You know,
and
unfortunately, until you can get more production value and more stuff into it, that's the way it's going to be. And AEW has been getting there. You know, their production value, in my opinion, is on par, if not sometimes better than the E. You know, obviously they don't have quite as much money, but they're doing a hell of a job on the production side.
But they're also giving the fans more of what the fans want too. AEW has a way better tag team division. They've got a great women's division.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. Their focus on those two things are the exact thing that WWE lacks.
Yeah,
it really is, unfortunately.
And
unfortunately for everybody, really.
I was well, you know what? I'll wait till I get to another segment to talk about what I want to talk about. Because there's a reason.
Fair enough. All right. Were there any other thoughts that you had for this topic? Or did you want to move on to the next?
No, that's kind of really what I wanted to talk about, though. I want to know how other people feel about the Young Bucks. Like, maybe I'm missing something besides them beating up a 7-year-old boy.
Fair enough. All right. So our next topic here. Jeff Hardy. Where does he go from here? All right. So I did a lot of kind of digging around, research and stuff for this topic specifically. And I just kind of wanted to go over where Jeff Hardy has been over the last, say, 2 years or so. Okay. So this is what I got for you, John.
All right.
Early 2019, the Hardys win the tag belts. Okay.
Yep.
They have them for 3 weeks, 21 days. Then Jeff gets injured.
Yep.
And
hurt his knee.
He's out for 10 and a half months.
Yep.
Okay. In that time that he's out, he gets arrested twice.
Yep.
Once in July for public intoxication, once in October for driving while impaired. Now,
yep.
You know, it's not like this has never happened. Jeff has a history, unfortunately. I don't know if it was the injury, if he fell off the wagon because of pain meds. I don't know. But I'm just stating what happened. Okay. So they went from the WWE loving them, tag team champs. Now it seems that Jeff is starting to fall apart a little bit. So March of 2020 comes around and Jeff makes his return. He's there for like about a month and a half, 2 months. Then he starts a feud with Sheamus, which goes from May to July.
Yep.
Right after this feud starts, they do the arrested angle. Obviously playing on the stuff that happened while he was out. He gets arrested for crashing his car into Elias. Arrested, quote unquote. For those of you on the podcast, I'm quoting arrested because it was all obviously kayfabe. So in this time, they run this thing like every fucking week, and I was getting, I remember it, and I was getting so tired of it because we had just started Off the Ropes, and I was just getting back. I was watching like everything, everything WWE each week for like the majority of that year until I started to burn myself out. So I saw this stuff, and it got old real fast.
So fast.
Then in August, he challenged AJ Styles for the Intercontinental Championship and won it, held it for about 6 weeks or so. Then he gets drafted to Raw in October. He has a feud with Elias after Elias returns because Elias was out. He had a few specialty matches with Elias. He did a guitar and a pole match. Symphony of Destruction match, both of which he won. Okay, so it's like, okay, they're giving him some wins here. That looks good. Then he comes the Royal Rumble. He's an early entrant. He's like entrant number 5. Doesn't really do a whole lot in the Rumble. Pretty forgettable. He teams up with Carlito after Carlito came back at the Rumble. Teams up with him once to end his feud with Elias. In a tag match, Elias was tagged with Jackson Riker in this match. Then he went and was unsuccessful at Elimination Chamber and has not been, or it was nowhere to be found, I should say, at WrestleMania 37. He wasn't even in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Nowhere. In 2021, Jeff has lost the majority of his matches, and just this past week on Raw, lost easily to Jinder Mahal. So, that's the breakdown of Jeff Hardy for the last 2 years. Where do we think he's going? Honestly, I don't think he's going anywhere. And I mean this in a bad way. I don't think the WWE knows what to do with him. I don't think they have faith in him. And he's got like a year or two left on his contract. I have a feeling we're going to see this exact same type of thing. Him barely being around, losing matches. Maybe he'll get a win here and there. Maybe he'll have a little feud with a C-lister, and then he'll fade away. Maybe he'll go to another company. But I think this is the end of Jeff. I think this is his final run for the E. I really do. So, John, thoughts? I'm sure you have a lot.
I want to start by saying, if what you're saying is right, maybe Jeff Hardy will fade away and classify himself as obsolete and join Matt in AEW. And we can get the Broken Hardys back. And I love that made you laugh.
I'll be honest. That pun was not intended. I did not mean to say.
I'm really good at turning a phrase, man. You know that. I get that little bit, and I can just run with it. Let me ask you this. Do you think WWE has any longevity plans for Jeff? Do you think they would want to renew his contract?
No, I don't.
No?
He's in his early 40s, so like he's up there. They could have really done more with him. Like, he won that Intercontinental Championship. They could have ran with that. He could have been the IC champ for like 3-4 months, but no. Yeah, I think it was like 37 days is what I read. Wow. 37 days. That's it. Because
then he ended up having that feud with AJ Styles and Sami Zayn.
Yeah, and so I'm just like that to me, it showed that they needed a placeholder for this title.
Yeah,
that's what it felt like.
Well,
and since they've just essentially shit on him since, I just don't see them having confidence in him.
See, that's what bugs me. 2008, Jeff Hardy was like the top of the company.
Yeah.
Outselling merchandise against John Cena. He was the world heavyweight champion. Like, he wasn't the world heavyweight champion first. He was WWE champion first. And after he had a good run with Edge and Triple H and shit, he ends up as the world heavyweight champion fighting people Edge and CM Punk. And I mean, I believe there was an Alberto Del Rio feud in there, maybe. I don't really remember much. But then, then he stepped up like the whole face paint thing, the Taker in that Extreme Rules match. And he's like, yeah. And then Jeff's like, okay, I need a break. He went back to Impact for a little bit. He comes back to the WWE with his brother, and they're on fire, just like you said.
Yeah.
And then WWE's like, okay. Split them. Matt ends up with a shit gimmick and a very broken version of broken Matt Hardy. Ends up tag teaming with Bray Wyatt, makes that work as best that they could, and they made it work.
Yeah.
And then Jeff comes back from injury, and WWE's like, well, we could give you your brother again, but we're not going to do that. We're going to keep you separate. And I don't ever understand why. Because, yes, Jeff is entertaining by himself, but then they just do the same shit they always do. Oh, Jeff has been a substance abuser. Jeff's a druggie. Oh, Jeff can't be by himself because Jeff's a problem person.
Yeah.
And I hate that because Jeff Hardy is still so very popular amongst all the fans all the time.
Yeah.
And he sat down in a recent interview and even told fans that they could, if the crowd starts coming back, No More Words was coming back. Like, he's promised that theme will be back. So I know he has plans to stick around. But why stick around? I mean, maybe he's going to, like, not for the pun on this one, maybe he's going to fade out and he's elevating talent because maybe he knows he's got a limited time left with the WWE.
It's possible.
And he knows he's going to go out, so might as well just elevate some talent while he can.
Yeah, no, I get that. It's definitely possible. It's a bummer. But
I mean, it's a real bummer.
If this is him saying, I know I'm not long for it. This is probably my last run. I want to help push some of these other guys. If it's his choice, I can be okay with that. But part of me doesn't think it is. You know what I mean? I mean, we'll probably never really know. But I don't know.
Not really. Not until like interviews afterwards and stuff happen. I mean, Jeff is very good about when he's unhappy with a company, he keeps it respectful. Yeah. He doesn't blast the WWE. He's never shit on the WWE after they released him or anything back in the day. Yeah. He was like, I had a good time there. I did some shit. I was stupid. I mean, when he left the company the first time back in I think it was 02, 03, whenever it was way back in the day. And he went to TNA the very, very first time. Yeah. He was fucking kid still. He was in his 20s. Of course, he wasn't in his 20s. I think he was in his 30s. Well, but still.
I mean, he might have been. So let's see. If it was, let's say it was 2004 even. That'd be 17 years ago. Yeah. He would have been 27.
Yeah, so he'd have still been decently young.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what he wanted with his career. He wanted more than just wrestling, and WWE wasn't giving it to him. But he never shit on the WWE for that. He was like, look, they started me. They made Jeff Hardy who he was. Yeah. He thanked him for his time. He went to Impact. He made, in my personal opinion, the first time he went to Impact Wrestling, that is when Jeff Hardy finally realized what his potential was. And when he came back to the WWE, there was a different version of Jeff. And I can remember the night he returned because me and you were watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Edge was in the ring with his Rated R title, and Jeff Hardy comes back, and Edge is like, oh, don't tell me you're going to waste your return on me. And Jeff didn't say anything, but he muttered the words, you talk too much. And he was going like this. He's like, you talk too much.
Yeah.
And then he fucking twisted fate him.
Much.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember that, man.
Yeah. And I remember being like, wow, Jeff looks growing up. And
yeah,
like, okay, so to parallel that, because while we're talking about Jeff Hardy, I want to talk about something else really quick. Because you'll understand where I'm going with this. Somebody had brought up to me the other day when I was talking to them about this whole Jeff Hardy thing that Edge kind of went through something similar, but he never left the company. It was the injury.
Oh, yeah.
So in 2009, Edge had to retire from professional wrestling due to not being able to wrestle because of his neck. We all know that. 11 years later, he comes back at the Royal Rumble, and he's like top. I mean, he looked phenomenal. He had completely transformed himself. Edge had a great career before he retired. He was a multi-time heavyweight champion. He was a multi-time world heavyweight champion, intercontinental champion, tag team champion. The man had WrestleMania moments. He had a storybook career. But Edge had the business taken away from him.
Yeah.
Edge was told he could not wrestle anymore. He didn't retire on his own like some of these guys do. He was told, hey, we really know that this is what you love. This is what you love. But you could never fucking have it again. Yeah. Sorry. I don't blame Edge for coming back and being as fucking hyped up and fucking over as he is right now. Because man lives and breathes this business. Mm-hmm. And the fact that Edge looks even better now than he did 11 years ago in the hype of his career, that tells you right there that that man has a dedication, just like Jeff Hardy.
Yeah.
Matt Hardy's always the one who says he will not die. Well, Jeff Hardy is still fucking relevant in my eyes. Boom. Mic drop.
I like it, man. I like it a lot. And yeah, I don't know what else to say for that, man. You just, literal mic drop on that. So I think with that, everybody, I want you right now, hop on Twitter, hop into the comments here on YouTube, head over to Anchor and leave us
the ropes inbox on Facebook.
Yeah. Anchor, leave us a voice message here. Here's our Twitter handle.
Voice message. Please leave us a voice message.
Let us know your thoughts. Both the Young Bucks and Jeff Hardy. I want to know what you guys, especially Jeff Hardy, because this was a big topic. We really dove into this one, and I actually loved it. It was fantastic. So let us know your thoughts on all of it. Where do you think Jeff Hardy's going? Do you think he's being underused, or do you think it's to elevate all this young talent? I don't know. We'll see. Let us know what you think about all of that.
Let us know down below.
Down below. All right. Next up, this topic. It's an interesting one, and I'm really curious to hear your thoughts. Who you may have picked for these slots. Who will be on top of the WWE in 5 to 10 years? All right. So I'm going to start with one that I feel like maybe it's easy, maybe it's almost obvious, but I think 5 to 10 years, that's not that long, really.
No, not at all.
If he's continued to be built correctly, the way that he has since he's returned, I think Roman Reigns will be that top guy.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me explain something to you, because I originally brought this to you because
I have another person as well, but I wanted to put that out first.
Okay. Because this is why I originally had this brought to you in two forms. Who's going to be at the top of the business in 5 years? Because that's when everything should start to turn over, and then in 10 years, when those guys I felt
like who's going to be on the top in 10 years? Who the fuck knows, man? It could be someone that we haven't even met yet. That's the problem with that far.
Was kind of where I was going with that. Do you see anybody on the indies right now, or maybe somebody that they've signed who might have potential?
I don't have enough, I think, knowledge of a lot of the indie scene to be able to say, hey, that's who it's going to be. I mean, for all we know, it could be somebody jumping ship from AEW. coming over to
True.
the E and just
True.
taking charge. You know what I mean?
Well,
who knows?
Taking it the way you did, I'm still going to keep my answers the same, but they're going to both shock you because I've got two. And they're both men, for the men's division at least. Ready for this? Karrion Kross.
Interesting. Okay.
And number two, and you, as long as he stays with the WWE and doesn't go anywhere else, Adam Cole, baby.
Okay. I'm excited to hear your thoughts. Sell me on it, John.
Okay. So look at it this way. We all know that Karrion Kross right now is the guy that Vince McMahon has the rocket ship up his asshole and sees something in him.
Fair enough.
Vince loves those guys. He's going to do anything he can to protect them. And as long as Karrion Kross doesn't become an injury-prone person, he has a look, he has wrestling ability, and he has charisma. He has a lot of guys right now on the main roster who can help him work and chip away at what needs to be done to make him that guy.
Yeah.
And for my number two choice, because you'll understand this one, no matter where Adam Cole goes, Adam Cole is gold.
It's true.
He gets in the ring with anybody and you get a classic match. It doesn't matter who. You put him in the ring with the shittiest of workers and you're at least going to get a decent match. It might not be great, but it'll be decent.
Yeah. Okay.
Now
I could see like a Karrion Kross in that 10-year mark that you were talking about. I could see that because he's fairly fresh in the E.
Oh
you
yeah.
know?
Yeah.
I could see that. I'll be honest, I didn't think about him, but I could see Adam Cole being a upper echelon player in the next 5 years. I could see that.
I mean, he gets a lot of that like side shadow, like, oh, he's like the next Shawn Michaels. And I don't disagree with that.
Yeah,
and I really, really don't. But there was one other person that I thought about putting on that list because I've seen his work on like ROH and I've seen him in a couple of other promotions, and that's Damian Priest.
Yeah.
Damian Priest has potential that as long as WWE doesn't screw up with him, he's a hard worker who has a lot of potential, but you got to have some faith in him and let him do his thing because otherwise you're going to do what you did to a lot of workers and you're going to put a choke on them and you're going to not allow them to spread their wings enough to let the fans really get under them.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Yeah.
What do you think about for the women's division?
I said I had a second person, and that is the women's division.
Okay.
Honestly, there's one person. When I saw this question, I was like, she was the first person that popped into my mind in general, even before I decided on Roman Reigns, and that's Rhea Ripley.
Oh,
dude! As the first moment I saw her, I was like, this is the chick right here. She is going to dominate this division for years. I feel it. And as long as, like you said about Karrion Kross, as long as she doesn't become injury prone and all this, I think that she's going to make major waves in the WWE, and she's going to be that top tier in 5 years. That just like,
I respect that.
Like she's already the women's champ right now. You know what I mean? But she's going to be, I think, she's going to be that Becky Lynch, Charlotte Flair level that we have. I mean, Becky's not here anymore, but when she was here, she was the top. A lot of people view Charlotte as the top. That's where I think we're going to see Rhea Ripley.
Do you think though that they have potential to reach like the great status though, like Trish Stratus, Fabulous Moolah, Mickey James,
like Hall of Famer type status?
Hall of Fame status.
I mean, maybe.
Rhea Ripley definitely has a package, and I like that about her. She's unique. She's different.
That's I guess time will tell really on that front. We'll see what happens in the next 5 years with her.
I like your pick.
If her trajectory continues to skyrocket, then I do think that she could get there.
I like the uniqueness that you picked because mine was very unique. But for my women's choice, I didn't go with anybody who was on Raw or SmackDown right now. I pulled an NXT talent, and I'm putting her on the main roster to be one of the brand's leading women. And that is Shotzi Blackheart.
Yeah, dude, I love that pick. That's a great pick because she is so fantastic.
Yeah. I think she's one of those women wrestlers who has something about her. And I don't want to just call it the it factor because I don't think it is the it factor. I think she's still discovering who Shotzi Blackheart is. Yes, Shotzi Blackheart is like the she-devil tank driving, helmet wearing badass. But I think she's still refining who she is in the ring to make herself stand out and pop.
Yeah.
I mean, she puts on great matches. She's a clinic giver for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she has potential to just future like main eventer.
Dude, I totally agree. I think it's a great pick. Absolutely. I love it. Fantastic. All right. Was there anybody else that you wanted to highlight? Is there anybody else you wanted to highlight?
Okay. So there is one other name I want to highlight, but it's because I think she's going to be one of those women who she's going to be like Bray Wyatt when she gets to the main roster. She's not going to be a champion. And she might not be the top of the company, but she's going to be one of those women who works her ass off and makes the other women always look great. And that's going to be Io Shirai.
Oh, yeah, man. I could see that. She is fantastic.
WWE's going to misuse her quite a bit. And I don't mean that in a mean way. But they're going to be like, oh, yeah.
You mean that in probably the most honest way possible because that's exactly what the WWE does a lot. A lot.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to go with this one. I like this.
Yeah, me too. All right. So, we've talked about some WWE stuff there. I think it's time to move into a little bit of AEW territory with our next segment. That's right. Freshly squeezed into the title picture. Yeah. I love that title.
I don't know. Have you been keeping up with AEW and the stuff that's been going on lately?
Some, not as much as I probably should, to be totally honest.
So Pac and Orange Cassidy had a number one contenders match, and it was whoever wins gets a number one contenders gets a title opportunity at Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that match happening.
The match didn't end the way it was supposed to happen. It still ended how it could have, but they got a double count out or a double disqualification or something like that, and put both guys in the title picture, which was supposed to happen anyway. It was supposed to be a triple threat. Okay. So now Kenny Omega versus Pac versus Orange Cassidy. And I want to focus on the Orange Cassidy aspect of this for a minute because I love his work.
Yes.
And I am really glad to see that AEW has allowed him to evolve from he's still the fucking fun-hearted, hands in my pockets, glasses wearing. Yeah, okay. But, they went out on a limb. They bought him what's the word I'm looking for? When somebody has, rights to music. They got him one entrance theme.
They bought him licensed, they bought the license to his music.
Yes, they bought the licensed music. Thank you. So he's got, a custom theme now. It's not just some generic music. They also did this with Jungle Express has custom music. Obviously, Jericho uses his own. Or Jurassic. Sorry, Express. Thank you. What did I say?
Jungle Express.
Or Jurassic. Sorry, thank you. Yes, the Jurassic Express use a song called Tarzan Boy, and now, as of this last AEW, Jon Moxley has licensed music. He is now coming out to Wild Thing. Boom, 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 boom. Which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But focusing on the whole Orange Cassidy thing. This is a guy who has potential. I don't think he's ready for the heavyweight championship yet. I think this is a match for Kenny Omega to look strong and be who he is and show off his skill. Because I'm not a huge Kenny Omega fan, but against two guys who are going to make him look phenomenal. Pac, who is a gravity-defying badass, and Orange Cassidy, who can give the comedy aspect of the match, which Kenny Omega is also good for.
Yeah.
So I think this is a match that's going to benefit all three guys, but at the same time, in your opinion, do you ever see Orange Cassidy being a heavyweight champion?
Honestly, the way that they have been pushing him, I actually do. See, here's the thing. What AEW has been able to do with Orange Cassidy is the thing that the WWE has tried to do with several different characters and has failed to do. You take this character who you're like, this is a wrestler? Like, what? And then they get in the ring and boom, they just knock it out of the park. It's like that. It's like Festus. You know, you have this, and then when the bell rings, he's in there. But that was just trash. This works, and they know exactly what to do with him. I don't know if it's his time yet. It might be.
No,
but I do see within the next, say, even 2 years, he'll be holding that gold.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, I know you're like me. I know I've really turned you into an OC fan.
Mm-hmm. When I first saw him, I was like, what the fuck is this? I had no idea. I was like, what am I?
The very first video clip I sent you, you were like, what the fuck did you just have me watch? And I was like,
yeah,
what?
Seriously.
You're like, that was fucking dumb.
No, yeah, seriously. I didn't know. I did not have the appreciation that it deserved at the time.
I've went back and watched a lot of his indie work from like when he was just traveling, and I know he's been a heavyweight champion in a couple of the places he's went. I know he has potential, but I see what you're saying with like the Adam Rose gimmick and like Festus and stuff like that, where it's got limitations, but AEW has found a way to be like, look, yeah, he might be that guy, but when he needs to step up, he'll step up.
Yeah.
And I mean, the only other saving grace Orange Cassidy has right now is that he has the best friends, Chucky T and Trent, and sometimes Sue. Because Sue's there too. He's got them watching his back, so that's always nice too.
I love you, Trent's mom. If you're watching,
I see. We're fucking bases.
But yeah. So, like, do you see him having that title anytime soon?
I don't see him having it as soon as you do.
Wow.
I see him having it in like 3 to 4 years.
Okay.
Only because like right now they're doing this whole Kenny Omega thing, which we'll get into in a little bit. But there are other guys that I feel right now are going to get a title shot that are on a different caliber. Okay. The next person that I think should be the AEW champion, and I'm gonna get a lot of heat for this one on this fucking show, but I really don't care. Darby Allin.
Oh wow! Oh yeah, you're definitely gonna get heat for that, but
I think Darby Allin has something that has not been seen in professional wrestling, and I'm. This is why I'm gonna get heat for this.
Send your heat to off JJ.
Brian Pillman.
Okay.
He has whatever Pillman had.
Oh,
Brian Pillman in his last incarnation was the loose cannon. He had something, but nobody knew what the fuck it was. Was he crazy? Wasn't he crazy? What the fuck is going on with Brian Pillman? There's the Pillman has a gun angle. Darby Allin lives a reckless lifestyle. He's a man with no fear. That is going to allow him to do shit in this business, which is not only going to cut his career down greatly, but it is going to allow him to do things in that ring that are going to elevate him beyond the wildest dreams.
Yeah.
And that man has a passion for this business that burns within him like a fire. I don't even know, man. It's just, he burns, man. He's got it. And every time he steps in the ring, I'm just mesmerized at the shit this man does.
No, I agree. I agree. That that pay-per-view. I don't remember the name of the pay-per-view was, but the one that we reviewed, that he was in that match with Sting, that tag team match in the like abandoned warehouse. Dude, the shit that he did in that was just like, holy fuck.
I recently found out he edited that match.
Really?
Yeah, he's a big fan of I think he said he's a big fan of Del Toro.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro?
Yes, and I think he said he edited it in like him style. And I also found out Sting and him got pulled over 4 times doing their entrance.
Oh, where he's like dragging him behind on the skateboard?
Apparently, because there's a random skateboarder with face paint and some random dude driving a pickup truck with face paint, and then he's hitched on, and they got pulled over like 4 times doing it, trying to film it.
That's funny.
But back to Orange Cassidy, though, I really think he has potential. I just think that there are people in line before him right now.
Yeah.
Okay. And AEW is trying to make sure that people are getting... they're trying, and I'll say that. I really want to save the big argument I have for when we get to the big conversation.
Okay.
The crossover conversation.
Fair enough. Well, we're not quite there yet, John, but we are still in AEW territory. Can Jurassic Express survive a split? All right, John, let's hear your thoughts.
Okay. So let me propose an idea to you. Jurassic Express has a limitation time on them. They are a tag team that is amazing together, but they definitely have a time limit because you can only do so much with them. So I'm gonna play out some fantasy booking with you that I would love to see happen.
Okay.
If you were going to split them, how would you split them?
I'll be honest with you. I don't know if they will survive outside of a split.
You don't think so?
I love Jack Perry. I think he's great. And he might. I don't think he'll ever be a heavyweight champ.
You're going to feel my story.
He might be, a mid-level champ. He might be one of those, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus, on the other hand, he's a big guy. He's still green. His gimmick is very limiting, it seemed to me. I don't see him going far on his own. I just don't. And maybe I'll be wrong. Maybe the next 5 years will prove me completely wrong. But I just don't see. And I don't even remember the other guy's name, to be honest.
Marco Stunt.
Exactly. He's just like Jeff Hardy, he's gonna fade away. But
okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling they wouldn't survive a split, to be honest with you. They would go extinct. So yeah. Let's hear it, John.
So follow me on this little bit of a journey. So they start the split. Okay. Something happens within the team. Jurassic Express starts to drift apart. Luchasaurus is the first one to start to turn. I'm being limited by this mask. I can't do this anymore.
Okay.
And Jungle Boy is like, don't do it, man. Don't take the mask off. And he's like, we need you. And he's like, yeah, but this mask is holding me back. I can't do this. Dusty told me when I found myself, take the mask off and go. This is my time. I can be a heavyweight champion without this mask. And he does. Luchasaurus becomes a face. And this is why I said Jungle Boy, because what did you say?
Jack Perry.
Which he never wanted to be known as.
Okay.
He only got that happening because fucking JR screwed up on commentary. He never wanted to be known by Perry because he doesn't want to play off his dad's name.
I get that.
So now imagine Luchasaurus goes face. Marco Stunt stays with Jungle Boy for a little bit. Jungle Boy cleans himself up a little bit. The hair is pulled back into like a ponytail. He starts coming out in more traditional gear without like the loincloth and like the fringy boots. Yeah. And he just straight cuts it into the fans. my name is Jungle Boy, but you people wouldn't take that. No, you had to push. You had to find out who I was behind that, and you made me Jack Perry. And that pisses me off. You couldn't just let me be happy being a person in the business. You had to dig deeper. And he goes full fucking heel. And the only reason he takes Marco Stunt with him is because when people start to come at him, he shoves Marco Stunt in the way and he fucking bails out.
I could see that, yeah.
Exactly. But I don't think it works the other way. If you split them the other way and you put Luchasaurus as the heel, and even if he still loses the mask and Jungle Boy stays, true to Jungle Boy, Marco Stunt becomes obsolete.
See, that's absolutely true.
And that's the thing. Marco Stunt is the odd man out in this group. Mm-hmm. He doesn't survive outside of Jurassic Express, but the other two will. Yeah. Now,
I mean, I definitely believe that Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus will stick around. Yes. I just don't think that. Now, if Luchasaurus, like you said, if he drops the gimmick completely, complete repackage, maybe we'll see something different out of him. And then who knows? I don't know if Jungle Boy can survive staying Jungle Boy.
I don't think he can, but until he gets to that point. So. But I will tell you this, though. I think you're wrong on one thing.
Okay.
I do think Jungle Boy, even in this current gimmick, has what it takes to be AEW champion.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know what it is about him, but he does have a desire and a passion. It's not like watching Darby.
I think the man could get there. I just don't think Jungle Boy will get there.
That's a possibility. And I mean, I can see that. He definitely needs to grow more, but he's definitely doing really good at getting where he is.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed them as a team, so I don't want them to split. But if they have a good, solid plan for these guys for a split, I'll be up for it. I just worry that it's gonna just destroy any momentum that they might have.
I
because you've seen that so many times in the business. You've seen tag teams get split up and then poof, nothing.
Yep.
So I don't know, but that's my thoughts. Was there anything left about Jurassic Express that you wanted to hit on?
No. I really wanted to see what you thought about if they could survive outside of the entity that they are.
Okay. So next up, we have a special segment. It's something that you guys have seen us do, specifically John do, but it is now a full-on segment in this show, full-on with a graphic. Let's hear it, John.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. And today, with Let Me Tell You Something, Brother, I want to bring up a conversation about All Red Everything, Eva Marie, and I want to say Eva Marie is a big red mistake. Oh!
Ouch.
Everybody's quite aware that about a month ago, we went through round 2 of, what are they calling it, Josh?
I think the first one was Black Wednesday.
Yes.
And this one was on a Thursday, I believe. So I think we called it Black Thursday.
The big releases happened. And we lost a bunch of people. And I mean a bunch of people.
Yeah, there was like 10 or 12 people. 10 or 12 people got dumped this year.
Yeah. And I'm going to focus on 3 of them right now. I'm going to talk about Mickie James being released and both of the Iconics. Because all 3 of them, one, Mickie James is a future Hall of Famer. And the Iconics, whether you liked them or you hated them, were a talented tag team. And they were a tag team. They should have never been separated. Because they were iconic. You were supposed to join me on that.
No.
Had to practice it. I'm sorry. We had that practice where we were both supposed to go our respective ways and yell iconic, and Josh dropped the ball. Dude, you've let me down.
Am I supposed to go the same direction as you or the opposite direction?
No, we're supposed to go opposite directions.
Okay. Let's try it.
Okay, on 3. Hold on. 1,
Okay.
2, 3. Iconic.
Oh wait, I didn't go the opposite. Let's try it one more time. Let's try it.
1, 2, 3.
Iconic. What? Damn it, John. One more time. Last time. This is the last time. Okay. Okay. Ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3. Iconic.
I think there's a little bit of a gap between us, but it's okay.
It may be. It's close enough.
So, WWE releases these 3 divas who are all talented, or women. I'm sorry. Wow, I cannot believe I just fucked up like that. They released these 3 women wrestlers, and it's fucking heartache. Everybody screamed about all 3 of these 3 being released. And then within a month, they bring back Eva Marie. First off, who the fuck wants to see Eva Marie? Nobody fucking cares. Second off, you call yourself the all red everything. Well, until you do a Playboy pictorial, I don't believe it.
Fair enough, I guess. Fair enough.
Now, let me tell you something, brother. The fact that they're bringing back Eva Marie over releasing 3 divas, did you need to release women? Fuck me. The fact that they're doing this, though, are you paying Eva Marie what you were paying all 3 of them? Because I'm sorry, I don't get it. Mickie James and not Billy Kay, Peyton Royce were more talented than Eva Marie ever was.
Oh,
so
yeah.
unless she has really stepped up her game,
even Billy Kay is more talented than Eva Marie.
Fair.
Come on.
No, that's fair.
On. I mean, especially in that last bit right before they dumped her. Like, she was tagging with Carmella at was it WrestleMania? Yep. I thought she had some great stuff going on in that match.
Well, I mean, Eva Marie, her first run, they did all the wardrobe problems with her, reasons why she couldn't wrestle, pissed a lot of fans off. And then by the time she actually started actively wrestling, fans hated her so much that they didn't want to give her a chance. Not to mention, she was still so green, she was putting on shit matches.
Dude.
So unless she is really refined who she is and like really fucking stepped up her game, the first time she steps in the ring, if she fucks anything up, the internet fans are going to eat her alive.
Oh, yeah. She's going to be demolished.
Demolished. Because I'm sorry.
If she can't show that she truly deserves that spot, I wouldn't be shocked she's gone within the year.
Absolutely. Especially after everything like with Trash Bag Gate and everything that's been happening recently with like, you know, like women wrestlers coming forward and being like, hey, you know, this is the mistreatment we've been getting since release. Chelsea Green was also on that list. I forgot about Chelsea. And I'm sorry, she's also an extremely talented woman in the business. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we're getting rid of all these people and fucking bringing back Eva Marie. And like I said, it's a slap in the face because fucking bodies haven't even cooled yet. Yeah. Like, people are still under a 90-day no-compete clause, and here you come with your fucking, it's Eva Marie. I'm like, fuck her. I don't want to see her. No, she don't have my attention. You know who does have my attention, though? Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Absolutely. I 100% agree with everything you're telling me, brother. And Alexa Bliss is where they need to be putting more focus, in my opinion.
Apparently, they have a really good end game for her, so I'm really excited to see where that's going.
I hope so.
I've
loved what the Fiend Alexa that they've been doing. Oh man, it's been fantastic.
I also really, really want to see Nikki Cross back on TV soon.
Yeah, she's been. I'll be honest. I'm shocked she didn't get let go, just because of the way that they have mistreated that character.
Mistreated, misrepresented.
Like the last year, like it's just they've done like nothing with her. and she deserves better than that. So I hope that they can turn things around for her, because she deserves it, in my opinion.
I agree.
Unlike the big red mistake, Eva Marie. Yeah.
So. I mean, so like you heard, every episode I'm going to try to have a "Let me tell you something" segment. This was my first. Let me know what you think about the Eva Marie return.
Yeah. And that was, "Let me tell you something, brother." Yeah, I can say it too.
Give me your best Hulk Hogan impersonation.
No, I don't want to say the N-word.
Well, let me tell you something, Mean Gene.
Whoo! Oh man, thank you for that setup. All right, we are going to hop into our penultimate topic.
Woo-woo.
Penultimate AEW Impact crossover. Who benefits? All right, John. I know that there's a lot you want to talk about here. So
there is.
Let's dive in.
I want to start with the man who is now representing two brands as a heavyweight champion, and that is Kenny the Cleaner Omega. Right now, he is the only person solely benefiting from these crossovers. Now, that's not to say that people aren't appearing on both shows, because I know the Good Brothers are. I know the Young Bucks have. I know a few of the other people are. But you're missing the bigger picture here. You've got a cross-brand representation happening right now where you could be taking talent from each show and having like some of the greatest matches of your career. You have women wrestlers in AEW who could put on clinics with some of your women wrestlers from AEW. Now,
True.
I'm not saying you need to put champion against champion and like whatever, but I mean, like, why not? You've got a returning ODB. You've got Jordan Grace. You've got Jessica Havoc. You've got Deonna Purrazzo. I'm going to miss a lot of women over there. And on AEW, you've got like Britt Baker. You've got so many talents. I can't even name them all. And I'm horrible at this because I should have had more written out for this, but I didn't. I'm going on a whim. I'm going off a wing on this one. But the sole person right now who is benefiting from this entire crossover is Kenny Omega. And it's solely because he is wearing 3 heavyweight championship belts at the same time. And all these people are like, oh, Kenny Omega. And I'm like, fuck Kenny Omega. Like, AEW has 3 television shows right now so that they can make sure that they are doing something where all these people are like, well, AEW is nothing but a new WCW. Oh, it's the new WCW. Well, WCW made one mistake, and that was they focused around a bunch of older guys who didn't have it anymore. And when they should have been elevating their young talent, it was too late. And WCW had Nitro, and they had Thunder.
Yeah.
WWE has Raw and SmackDown and NXT. AEW has AEW, AEW Dark, and AEW Dark Elevation. Even if you're not seeing the people you want to see on AEW, like the main show, you were going to have a chance to see them on Dark or Dark Elevation. And it's awesome because Josh and I have been watching Dark Elevation. We're seeing our friends now. We're seeing our friends get chances they deserve. The Kevin Bennett's, the Bill Colliers, the Kevin Blackwoods. Brody Lee was a fucking heavyweight champion.
Stone Rockwell.
I forgot about Nick. Love these guys. I have literally been in presence with a lot of great talent who deserves to shine, and now they get a chance. But the only thing they're benefiting right now with this crossover is Kenny Omega.
Yeah.
And I don't understand it. You have potential to be like, okay. But you're like, okay. And I'm like,
you're like playing sword fight with your dicks over here when you could be getting the full on hammer to it.
That's like a girl walking up to you saying, you can have anything you want. And you're like, I'll take a handy.
You're like, just flick my nuts. That's it. That's literally all you're saying.
I mean, yeah.
Because them only using Kenny Omega and essentially saying he's the shit, man. He's everything. That's a flick in my nuts. I'll tell you what.
Well, I mean, okay, so look at the current AEW picture. Okay, so the main event is going to be Kenny Omega defending against Pac and Orange Cassidy. Why couldn't somebody from Impact be thrown in there and make it a fatal 4-way?
Yeah. Yeah. No, exactly. I totally.
Two people from Impact in there.
Yeah, I mean, you do something crazy. Absolutely.
Maybe it's because I'm just not seeing the big picture anymore. Like I said, I respect Omega as a wrestler and a worker. I do not like the gimmick.
Yeah.
Because he just, in my personal opinion, there's just something about him that does not resonate with me. I do not get him.
Yeah. No, I get
Maybe
it.
that's why. But I mean, at the same time, I'm like, oh, okay.
I like the idea that of bringing an Impact person over to AEW to fight for the title. Now, hear me out. Think about this. You got Kenny Omega, okay? He's got all these belts, whatever. So make a triple threat match for the title. Just you don't even have to say. Just say title match. People are like, okay. They probably wouldn't even think about what that means. So you have somebody from AEW and somebody from Impact. The winner gets their title for their respective show. And Kenny Omega still walks away with the title, no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's not like you're just completely stripping Kenny Omega of all his belts.
True.
I think that is probably the best way to because I don't know how much of Impact has actually come over to AEW. Obviously,
not much.
Obviously, Kenny Omega goes over there.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the Good Brothers are an Impact, right?
They are.
Because I know that they have appeared on AEW.
They have.
But I don't know if they've actively had matches or not. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess we should start researching a little bit more, seeing what's going on.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like they're doing much with this crossover. All I ever hear about is Kenny Omega. That's it.
Exactly.
I don't hear about any. So if they are doing other stuff, it's not being put out there at all. I don't hear anything about it, anything other than Kenny Omega when
nope.
this crossover is talking about.
Everything is Omega, Omega, Omega. There's nothing like
which obviously benefits AEW since that's his show.
But okay. So then here's the thing though. We were talking about this earlier, and this is where this starts to reflect. So Kenny Omega is the sole focus right now of this crossover thing. Now, you're talking about how the Elite is having problems backstage corresponding with one another. Kenny Omega is part of the Elite. So now you're starting to have these problems where now he's representing Impact as well as he's representing AEW. Shit starts to fall apart. AEW is not going to suffer from that. AEW's got a solid footing with a fan base and shit like that. Yeah. Impact Wrestling takes the fucking hit.
Oh, 100%.
AEW or Impact Wrestling can't take too much.
Unless Kenny Omega goes there.
Oof. I hadn't thought about that.
If things fall apart between the Elite and Kenny Omega says, fine, I'm out. I'm going to Impact. I mean, he's buddy with Don Callis and everything. There's no way they would say, nah, we don't want you. There's no way. Zero chance.
True.
If he leaves AEW and wants to go to Impact, boom, he's there. Doesn't matter. I wouldn't be shocked if they say, F your contract, we'll pay it. I don't know what kind of contracts AEW uses, but I wouldn't be shocked. He shows up the next night or the next show. Wow. And it's just there saying F AEW.
Now see, I respect that.
If they can't reconcile whatever is happening backstage.
And I like that. Maybe, like I said, maybe we'll continue this in the next episode of Off the Ropes. And I'll do a little bit more and see what I can find out about if maybe there's more going on, or maybe our fans that are listening know more about what could be going on. Leave us a voice message. Leave us some comments. Leave us something. Like I said, we want to hear from you guys. We want to know what you guys are thinking about this stuff. We want you guys to be part of the show. So I mean, come on, join us.
I mean, if you're watching this on YouTube, just drop a comment right here on YouTube. You know, hit the like and subscribe while you're at it. But just drop a comment
somewhere.
If you're listening to it on Anchor or on whatever other podcast platforms, just head on over to anchor.fm/offtheropesjj, and you can literally leave us a voice message. It's like calling somebody and leaving a voicemail. You can do it right there.
Page. Give us a comment.
Oh yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Go
to our personal pages where we shared the video and leave us a comment.
Yeah, just find us wherever. Just let us know your thoughts. We definitely.
I mean, shit, you got my phone number? Text me.
Absolutely. All right, so. We have one final topic here today for this episode 28 of Off the Ropes with John and Josh, and that is tomorrow's pay-per-view, WrestleMania Backlash. So we're going to give a little preview. Really, that's what it should have been called, WrestleMania Redo. All right, so we're going to talk a bit about WrestleMania Backlash, the matches that have been announced. I think there's only 6, and then just kind of get our thoughts and what we're hoping to get out of this. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So I'm going to go over these matches, and then we can just kind of talk about anything we want, because that's the way this show runs now. All right. We got Bobby Lashley with MVP defending his title in a triple threat match against Drew McIntyre and Braun Strowman. Then we've got Bianca Belair defending the Women's Universal Championship against Bayley. Then we got Rhea Ripley defending the WWE Women's Championship in a triple threat against Asuka and Charlotte Flair. Then we got the Dirty Dogs, Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, defending the WWE SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Mysterios, Rey and Dominic. Then we've got Roman Reigns defending the Universal Championship against Cesaro. And then a lumberjack match, Damian Priest versus The Miz.
Ooh.
So we've got most of the main titles here. We got both men's titles, both women's titles, and one of the men's tag team titles. So, so it's a lot going on there. No mid-card titles. And no women's tag title, which I'm shocked that they didn't last minute make a match for those women's tag titles. I'm just a little bit shocked.
Or the Raw tag titles?
Yeah, or that. But just I almost feel like it just surprises me that they're not okay, yeah, great, you guys won. Now you're defending them.
Yeah, right.
Even if they have them win again, you know what I mean? Retain. I just almost am shocked that they didn't do it.
There's still time.
It's true. Okay. So, John, give me your thoughts. Anything pop out at you? Anything you're really looking forward to?
Well,
Let's hear
I like that a lot of it is legit WrestleMania do-over with slight twists.
How do you feel about essentially just having another small version of WrestleMania? Let's start with that.
Can't be any worse than WrestleMania itself was.
I mean, it wasn't great. It was okay. It wasn't great.
I mean, that's it. WrestleMania was literally just okay. They realized they fucked up so badly, they had to change Backlash into WrestleMania Backlash to try and give the fans what was lacking. That is shitty.
And the fact that they had 2 nights, and they still blew the pooch here. It's come on, guys.
I will say that I'm really excited for a couple of the matches.
Yeah,
I think the Braun Strowman triple threat match will be really good. Okay. I would love to see Braun Strowman walk away with the WWE Championship.
I mean, I just don't want Lashley. I don't like Lashley. I'm not a fan. I've never have been.
No.
So if Drew McIntyre wins it back, I'm down. And I'll be honest, if Braun wins it, cool. Why not, man? Why not?
I'm not excited to see Charlotte Flair in the title picture.
Not at all.
I understand why she is because of the way they're pushing the angle, but I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired. Like, I understand she's back. She's got this new attitude, whatever.
Yep.
But I just
you did say one match though, and it really fucking I don't know why I got really excited for this, but every time I hear it, I get excited.
Okay.
Lumberjack match.
Yes, absolutely.
And I mean,
this is where every single D-lister will be on TV.
Like, you're like, oh, that guy still has a job?
Yeah. It's like everybody who competes for the 24/7 title, get out there. Yeah. You're standing around the ring.
Oh my God, dude.
There's going to be a title change.
24/7 moment happened during that match.
Oh, 100%. I want them to like 3 or 4 of them slide up in the ring and just start going at it. And then Miz and Damian Priest are just like, what the like they're just like, I don't know what's going on right now. And they just start taking everybody out and just toss them out. Cool. And they just continue whatever outside the ring. I think that'd be actually hilarious.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, I kind of want that.
The only other thing that I really want to touch on, I love the name for Dolph and Bobby Roode.
The Dirty Dog. It's DAWGS. The Dirty Dogs. Love it.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I dig it, man. How do you feel about Cesaro being like in the Universal title picture?
I don't have.
How does that make you feel?
I think that it is a long overdue thing that he's even in a title picture, and I mean main title, not mid card.
Yeah.
I think Cesaro is gold, and I think he has opportunity to be one of those guys. Like, you remember when Jinder Mahal randomly won the WWE Championship because of the India deal?
Yeah, I do.
If you would do something like that with Cesaro, I wouldn't be disappointed.
Do you think that it's even a possibility, though, right now? The way that Roman's being pushed.
Uso just came back.
Yeah.
So unless they're going to do a double cross angle or something like that, no. But I do think Cesaro has the capability of being a heavyweight champion and being a good heavyweight champion.
Okay, so a tangent kind of off of this. How long do you think Roman Reigns will hold on to this title? To hold on to this like top spot as the tribal chief, head of the table, all this stuff. How long do you think this will last?
Do you want me to answer that as a fan, or do you want me to answer that realistically?
Go both.
Let me ask you that.
Go both. I'm curious as to what you'll say. I want
him to lose the championship now.
Wow.
Because I don't like seeing him with the championship.
Really?
I'm not into this gimmick. I like where the gimmick is going, but I don't like that they have made him look like a fucking pussy.
I don't think this gimmick can last. I don't think he can sustain. I think that it has been good for him because before the cancer came back, people hated him. Like, yes. And he was a face. They weren't supposed to hate him.
Yep.
He had legitimate heat. He had what they call X-Pac heat.
Oh, yeah.
And ever since he came back, people softened, because they're like, oh, we can't bash on a cancer survivor, okay. But then he fucking turned heel, hooked up with fucking Paul Heyman, and dude, he's been gold since. I've loved it.
So like I said,
I've loved everything but I feel like it's starting to kind of wear thin what the whole tribal chief thing. It's like it can only last so long.
Well, I think the tribal chief thing can go a little bit longer. I'm going to say a year tops.
Yeah, I don't think
there's a reason for that. There's a reason for that. But the way that they're currently booking him, where like they had to snap food during the Last Man Standing match with Kevin Owens, how Jey Uso is constantly getting involved. They can't keep doing that because all they're doing is making Roman look weak.
Yeah.
They tried to make him look strong at Mania, and all they did was fuck up because of the whole pin situation. He should have had both men side by side and a hand on each one of them, not stacked up, because fans will eat that shit apart so fast. Yeah, it wasn't a pin. Edge technically pinned Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan gets another title shot now because he was screwed. Wah, wah, wah. We get it.
Yeah.
But this is realistically how you book him to lose. And I mean Roman, not Daniel Bryan. You bring it around to about the time of the Royal Rumble. You start doing the who's going to face Roman at WrestleMania. And you save that number 30 spot for a surprise return.
Okay.
The Rock.
I like it. I do.
Like all of a sudden,
we've been talking about a confrontation between him and The Rock since they started this gimmick.
Yeah. I mean, even if it isn't The Rock, okay, say it's someone else. It's like Jimmy Uso or Jey Uso. And they come out like right in the 30 spot and they win. Okay? And then like now they're starting the road to WrestleMania. And Roman's like, you know, he's got the championship. He walks up, he's like, I'm the head of the table. You need to respect me. You're gonna fight me and you're gonna lay down. I'll give you your WrestleMania moment. And they're like, but Oos, and he's like, you know, you're going to lay down. I'm the head of the table. And then all of a sudden, an injury happens to whoever's got the shot. Roman Reigns doesn't have an opponent. So WWE's like, well, we're going to do whatever we can to get you a top billing person. You'll go into WrestleMania. You'll have the match. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Roman's in the ring, and he's like, look, I'm the head of the table. It's really sad that he got hurt. You know, I deserve better than this. I represent my family. And then out comes The Rock.
I think he should say something like, you know, I don't know what 2-bit hack they got to face me tonight, but it's not going to matter because I am the head of the table. I think something like that. Really puts down whoever, not knowing who it is. He's got to really slam them down.
I mean, even before Mania, though, like bring The Rock back.
Oh, okay.
Like Roman's in the ring and he's like, you know, like this injury really sucks. There's nobody that they could make me go up against. They could take my spot. And all of a sudden, here comes The Rock. And The Rock's like, you're right. You're the head of the table. You're the man. You're the high chief. But you're not Rocky Maivia. You're not this person. You're not the Trailblazers who made your family who they were. You're not Samoa. You're not Alpha or Alpha. You're not Sika. You're not The Rock. And like all of a sudden just comes in and boom. And then
I love that. Yeah. I actually love that.
There is so much potential for a fucking great feud there. But scheduling conflicts really kind of got into it with everything in this Mania. And then, you know, it is what it is. I get it. You know, The Rock is a busy person. There's the whole insurance things. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But I really want to see Roman at least go one more year with the championship. Get a really long run in there. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a good way to do it. And then they can, you know, figure out something new for him. I don't know what that would be, but hopefully they don't just screw up. You know what I mean? Because they built so much with him over the last year.
Well, I mean, at this point right now, realistically, is there anybody who could step up against Roman Reigns and look good enough to beat him?
No, I don't. I don't think there is. Without it being, yeah, they could, but that could get a little weird. I feel like anybody else other than The Rock right now, it's not going to be as satisfying. You know what I mean? If Roman loses, if he's unseated, I feel like it's got to be The Rock because he is the biggest member of that entire family.
Yeah,
you know, and it's him. I feel like it has to be. He's the one that has to slap Roman down and say, "Listen, you ain't shit."
Now, you know what would be an even funnier twist on this whole thing? The Rock beats him at Mania. You know, he puts him in his place. I beat you. This is my championship. I vacate it. He puts it down and walks away.
Yeah. He's like, and now I'm going to make a statement. And it's up for grabs. Like, he's like, I don't need to be the tribal chief. No. Unlike you needed it. I don't.
You needed this belt to be relevant. I don't.
Yeah. Dude, perfect booking for me. Perfect. I love it.
Josh just came.
Josh approved. Wet spot approved. That's right.
I mean, like I said, that's my thoughts on the whole backlash leading into something, the Roman and all that. I really got much else to say about that. There's not much that they can do right now. I have lost a lot of interest in the WWE because the booking is just getting so atrocious.
This pay-per-view, it's kind of, for lack of a better word, boring to me. Other than that lumberjack match, I'm intrigued by that. Like, other than that, I'm just like, there's no stipulation matches really. There's 2 triple threat matches, a tag teams match, 2 singles matches. All those are for titles, okay, but there's nothing interesting other than this lumberjack match, which, okay, cool. They've been building towards something with Damian Priest and The Miz. And so I think that works really well. You might see some cool, crazy stuff happen with the people on the outside like we talked about. I think that's the thing I'm the most excited for, is that, which seems sad because it's the only match it's not for a title. Though we might see a title change hands. You never know. I'll be honest, if we don't, I'm going to be a little bummed if we don't see something like that happen. Because it'd be perfect opportunity. You got all these dudes out there. You tell me fucking Truth ain't gonna be one of the lumberjacks. Come on.
Right.
Come on. Yeah. But so that was our WrestleMania Backlash preview. So John, what'd you think? How did this new format feel to you?
It felt organic and it felt right.
Dude, it felt great. I loved it.
Like,
we had some
I miss
great
talking
jobs.
wrestling like this with you, where it's not so much like this is what happened. Yeah. Okay. Well, this could theoretically happen. No, this is like this is what's happening in the business, but this is what I'd like to see.
Yeah. And we're talking about the stuff that we want to talk about.
Yes.
That's what I like. You know,
I like it.
Yeah.
And I made you laugh a couple times tonight. That's always nice.
Definitely did. I mean, that's not that hard to do, really. But everybody, Twitter, Off the Ropes JJ, we want to know your thoughts on the new format. Did you like the segment? Having a few news stories at the top, doing different segments. John's very own segment, having it be an official thing with a nice piece of graphic that I made right before this show.
He did indeed.
Did you like the amount of topics? More or less? What do you want from us? Let us know. We want the feedback. We're here. Ring? There it is. Comment on it. But don't be a douchebag. Okay?
Yeah,
there's enough guy. There's enough shit in the world. You ain't gotta be a douchebag about it. Just saying. All right. So John, unless you got anything else to say?
Nope.
All right, let the folks out there know where they can find you.
Well, I mean, as always, you can find me right here at Simply Sane J1 on Twitter. I've scaled back my Twittering a little bit, but I do tweet here and there. I have my other podcast, Simply Sane, with Jay. It's the Not Your Mama's podcast. I talk about
when myself. We get in another episode, John.
Listen, everybody keeps asking me that, okay? I'm working on it.
I'm working here.
I had just recorded one right before we did the WrestleMania review, and I couldn't post it. So it's only been like another month. You people can fucking wait. I give you so much. But no, sure. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. You can find me in a lot of random places that I can't talk about here because I don't know if we're legally allowed to talk about it.
Sometimes you'll find him in a bush.
I was in a bush. Gosh, where can they find you?
You can find me right here at Movie Blog Merc. That is the Twitter page for my site, Merc with Movie Blog. You hit me up on the YouTube channel at Merc with Movie Blog. I've been posting trailer reactions over the last week. I have a bunch up there right now. I've been getting into more video stuff, so hopefully I'll be building that up a bit more, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying that. If you just want to, hit up my personal account, it's at JP Raynor. That's JPRAYNOR. I'm not on there as active as I am on Movie Blog, Mark, but I do check it. I do check it all the time. Also, if you're into DC Comics, check me out at DC Comics News. I run that site over there at DC Comics News on all the social medias, dccomicsnews.com. And of course, be sure to check us out, Off the Ropes with John and Josh. All our various socials. It's we got Twitter, we got Facebook, got this YouTube channel here. We've got an Anchor page, and of course a Patreon if you're interested in that. All at Off the Ropes JJ. You can hit us up anywhere there that we do that stuff. And if you got any ideas for new content, let us know. And again, let us know what you thought of this format. It's brand new.
Absolutely.
Sure, there'll be some tweaking. If you got a suggestion for a segment, a topic that you think that we should, yeah. If you got a suggestion for a topic you'd like us to break into, let us know. We're open to suggestions. We may not take your suggestion, but we're open to hearing them. All right. So with all that said, this has been episode number 28 of Off the Ropes with John and Josh. I am Josh.
I'm John.
And we are down for the count. Catch you guys next time.